What's going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today we're going to talk to you about NIO. I want to go over some expectations for this upcoming week, what might cause some volatility in the stock price, and go over everything else that you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So starting off this upcoming week, you do have manufacturing data coming out both in China on Monday as well as on Friday in the States. China, you have forecast right now 50.5, and then in the States coming out on Friday, you have forecast currently as 48.5. Both have the ability to really move the broader market, but aside from that, it is going to be more of a technical driven week, no different than last week. Wednesday this time around, similar to last week, the market is closed, so New Year's, so again, something to kind of just factor in. But aside from that, though, I think in general, NIO is going to be unveiling their December numbers. That, in among itself, could be a very, very good catalyst. Plus, there's been a lot of good PR recently that's been coming out. So, right here, so NIO expects Firefly brand to deliver 50,000 units in 2025. So that's based on Goldman Sachs, a nice change of events from, I believe it was Deutsch, who kind of signaled only 1,500 a month was kind of anticipated, or at least the demand would justify. So I think that is kind of a good thing. And then point number two, this did come out, I believe it was a couple days back, but Onvo sells 20,000 EVs in 100 days of launch. So in general, a lot of pressure is going to be on NIO, but if they do hit a home run, hit the necessary targets, then in theory, you will see NIO move up dramatically. So it's all going to come down onto the data, so we'll kind of wait and see. Plus, even aside from that, you're going to have a lot of other big names such as Tesla unveiling their Q4 numbers, and whatever happens to Tesla, good, bad, and the ugly, will trickle down to pretty much everything. So again, that's something to kind of consider. Aside from that, though, shorts did increase 123,000 on Friday. 10.93% is that free float. So going into this upcoming week, shorts have returned quite a lot. And for those of you that kind of tuned in on my Friday video, I said that most likely shorts are going to bring it down and suppress it near the tail end of the day, below $4.50. And lo and behold, it did actually close at $4.48, exactly how I stated, because both market makers and shorts have a financial interest in NIO closing below that strike price. So that is a very clear sign of manipulation. I know, again, some people kind of don't agree with that, but I think the fact that that did happen is very, very telling. But cost to borrow average 4.26%. If the data is negative for this upcoming week, anticipate shorts to really pounce and double down and kind of make up for a lot that they've really returned over this last week for the most part. So again, it's all going to come down onto the data. Vice versa, if the data is better than anticipated, then anticipate more so shorts to continue to return some shares. But it is all going to come down onto the data. Of the call options that were purchased on Friday, you see consensus for it to be roughly around that $5 range for this upcoming week. The bears are anticipating for it to be sub 450. So there is more upside than down, but going over to the open interest, regrettably, with it closing below that 450, you're not going to see any gamma squeeze, no covering, or at least market makers buying any stock to cover any of these options. So pretty much everything did expire worthless. So like I stated, both market makers and shorts have a financial interest in suppressing NIO below this point right here of $4.50. Looking forward into this upcoming week, though, you see a very strong wall at 5. So same might happen this time around. If NIO does get close to that $5 range, then in theory you might see some manipulation. Shorts get a little bit more active. So just kind of take note of the strong walls at 5 and at 550. So 16,000 at 550 and then 21,000 at that 5. So let me know your viewpoint on that. And with it closing at $4.48, it closed exactly on this pivot point. So that's going to be a strong support that you'll really want to watch for that to continue to hold going forward into this upcoming week. Flip side, 435 and then 427 will be the following support levels, and then 461, 469, and then 482 will be the next strong targets / resistance points. So aside from the data, it is going to be more of a technical driven week, and of course, just given NIO's pullback on Friday, It did cause it to get below that ALMA. So 457 will also be a key pivot in the short term for NIO to get above, but I think just the technicals aren't looking all that great. So it being a technical driven week might be good for a lot of other stocks, not necessarily NIO. So this is now the third time me saying it. Even more importance that they hit a home run on their actual data points. And even I brought up in previous videos, it can't be just in line. It has to be like a home run. NIO can't just play on the line, if that makes sense. Wall Street already hates it. So you have to really hit a home run on everything you do going forward in order for kind of the market to actually consider NIO a success. But with their numbers coming out as well, you could potentially see some new ratings. So it has been a while since we've seen any. So last couple was done 12 days ago and then 25 days ago. Last one was 450. So hopefully with their targets hit, then you'll have some good ratings, such as from even Goldman Sachs. So Goldman Sachs did give a $3.90 downgrade sell. That was done last month. Tina, who has a 46% success rating, but clearly Goldman Sachs is maybe anticipating Firefly at least a good amount of demand, possibly. So we'll just have to wait and see how it all plays out. But like I said, it's going to come down onto the data points. So where do you feel NIO is going to go for this upcoming week, given everything that is going to be coming out? Do you think it's going to break down below that $4 range, or do you think it is going to kind of push higher? Because if it goes back over here on the actual chart itself, so you have these points. So I've brought up in the past a 50, 100, and 200-day moving average, very tight knit. So if NIO does come out hitting, a lot of big money does buy it, and it's able to get above these key resistance levels, then in theory, you could easily see it move up higher, similar to what the options is somewhat portraying the bulls. So they're anticipating for it to be above $5, I believe, or even $5.50. So yeah, it's all going to come down to, it's going to be a rocky ride, but I feel that given all the data points and articles that have been coming out, they are going to hit their marks. So it should, in theory, move up higher. So let me know your viewpoint on all of that. And hopefully everyone's having an amazing weekend thus far. One final thing I wanted to share with you, though, pop over to my Patreon, give it a quick follow in the description below and also the comments. I give buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolute bangers. So pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.